Okay, and we are live.
Excellent. So, welcome everybody. This is the cast for the Gameshrine #1 position on the Gameshrine European 7 vs 7 ladder. We've got Over9K versus Unhandled Exception. These guys, Over9K is top of the ladder at the moment, and Unhandled Exception is holding the #2 spot, and they're going to battle it out for the #1 spot. The way the Gameshrine ladder works is you get points for each win. And yeah, so I'm joined here tonight by Roxton of Cogs and Ink. How you doing, Roxton?
I know very well, thank you. Hello, great to be here. Very much looking forward to this. I think we're going to be starting soon. They're just saying ready in chat. And the first map, as you should be able to see from the beautiful splash screen we're looking at the moment, is going to be Crossfire.
Outstanding. And we were discussing before the match started that the way these things work is one team will pick a map and the other team will pick the side, and the third map, if it needs to be played, is automatically chosen by the system. And so the maps for tonight are, to begin with, Crossfire. And do you remember who chose that one, Roxton?
Crossfire was chosen by Over9K, I believe. Unhandled Exception chose Arcs and Avena, which means that the other team chose a side for each of those maps, if that makes sense. And the last map is a randomly chosen tiebreak map, which is basically all the map in the pool except for Katabatic, which I assume isn't eligible for a tiebreak map because of the disparity in the routes on that map, which we actually had, I think, was it Hindsight, getting quite upset about, I seem to remember, a few games ago.
It could very well have been, but I mean, Hindsight are now disbanded, so...
They have indeed. Was it Hindsight? I've actually forgotten, unfortunately. There was a little bit of drama, though, over one team feeling that we wouldn't have lost had we actually been playing Blood Eagle on Katabatic rather than Diamond Sword, and that had been selected due to the seeding process, which they thought was rather arbitrary, so... Anyway, that is completely irrelevant to this game, which I think is going to be really good. A little bit of history on these teams. Very quickly, I think, just pop into a team, fire a couple of shots, and then drop out again so that we don't get kicked for idling.
Very good point. I will do that now if I am given the ability.
No, I'm now in. While you're doing that, I will just provide a little bit of backstory in these things. Unhandled Exception formed from the remnants of two previous teams. I've forgotten actually the names of them. Doc, you can remember them, I'm sure.
It was Flatliners and 99 Flake.
99, that's the other one. I remember Flatliners. So some of their players have actually been around for quite a while, but this is their relatively new team per se. They have actually played Over9K a number of times in the past, but never before on the actual ladder. Since Tribes went live on the 12th of April, they've played them 5 times, and Unhandled Exception have actually won 4 out of those 5 matches, which is why at the moment they're the favourites for this best of 3 series.
Absolutely. If you guys go to gameshrine.org, you can look at the match lineup and you can also cast your vote, and if you're a member, you can even have a bet on the game. But we're going to get straight into it now because the game has started. I'm going to introduce the players very quickly. On the Blood Eagle side, we have Unhandled Exception. We have Typhoid, FX, Walters, I'm going to call him Walters, Gene Stealer, Ali W, Eunice, and Ethereal King. On Diamond Sword, which is Over9K, we have Shrek, Hayset, O'Shannon, Knave, Svenna, Leviathan, and Marcus. And we can see the teams all setting up right now.
Absolutely, and something we mentioned a little bit before the match, which I'm now noticing, is that there is really no heavy in this. The only heavy player in the entire of both teams is Leviathan as a Juggernaut.
I'm just going to butt in for just a sec, Rox, because I think you haven't switched to the live game on the stream.
I have not, and we are now. That should now be showing the live game on the stream.
Okay, sorry about that, guys, and back into
No, that's an absolute. Sorry, I am very sorry about that. Anyway, we are now live. Very little has happened so far. We saw a very slow llama grab from a raider, and it was shut down and flag was very quickly returned. Not much else has happened in the first minute of this game. So yeah, neither team running a heavy on flag. Only Diamond Sword running any kind of heavy offense, but I can't actually... Leviathan is actually deciding to live in the enemy base, or around the enemy base, rather than shelling from a distance.
Yep, he's up there trying to clear out basically the light defense
The Sentinel in that case.
Yeah, indeed. The light defense of Unhandled Exception. The flag gets chucked out into the field. Ethereal King's going to chase after it. He's actually not going to turn around. Sven is going to be able to pick this up. Sven picks up the flag for Over9K and is going to try and bring it back to the team, back to the base. Meanwhile,
Hughes comes in for the cap there and gets shot down by the light defense on the sand. Actually was body blocked by them, went straight up into the air as a result of that and was very quickly killed. Flag is now being secured back on the base. And Nave has actually managed to... Is it Nave? Nave? Nave?
let's call him Nave.
Let's call him Nave. Nave has picked up the Blood Eagle flag. I don't think he punted it there so much as it got blasted forward by the impact of his death. And it looks like Svenna, he doesn't quite have the energy to get up to the top. Leviathan picks it up. He's now playing as a line glass. He drops it. AEW, beautiful E-grab there. Nave manages to scoop the flag out of the air. AEW now turning around and coming back the other way. As the soldier there, he's actually getting quite a long way away, and the Blood Eagle flag has now been returned.
Yeah, Typhoid managed to get the return there for Unhandled Exception. Svenna with a great Nitro knocks it out of AliW's hands. He's going to make the return, I think, unless AliW...
No, he misses it.
Oh, he's get taken out.
He misses the return. And Kay's, I think he gets skilled there. AliW picks it up, passes it to Etherwalking, who's carrying it right back, and it looks like this is going to be the first cap for Blood Eagle because there's no one else around. Etherwalking throws it up onto the stand there. Gene Stealer comes in, tries, and that is the first cap, just as Dinosaur crashes sand.
First cap to Unhandled Exception there. So it was a very good play there by AliW, getting it through the field, realizing he didn't have the energy to bring it up onto the stand, passed it off to Etherall King, who also didn't have the energy to quite make it up the top, passed it up into the base, got picked up by Gene Stealer and made the cap.
Indeed, lots of excellent passing here. Not much in the way of punting, which is probably due to the changes a couple of patches ago to that, but nevertheless, good play. That was a beautiful pass there from Marcus to O'Shannon in the midfield. Knew he was going to get sniped down, decided better to get it in safe hands. He's now taken out by the sniper. He's being chased by Gene Stealer, and FX has now picked up the dinosaur flag and is carrying it away.
Yep, so FX makes the E-grab and manages to get down through the midfield. He's being chased by Svenna at the moment, but Eunice and Etherreal King are going to come in for the support there. Leviathan coming in for the Diamond Sword team, that is Over9K, trying to shell the Mortis onto the top of the base and knock the flag out of FX's hand. Passes it off to Gene Stealer.
Gene Stealer now carrying the Diamond Sword flag. He's hiding around on top of the enemy base. It's pretty much a logical place for a standoff on this map. Leviathan and Svenna both chasing after him. He's being defended by AliW. AliW taken out there. Gene Stealer now 1v2. Fortunately, Walters is managing to come back up and try and defend him. He's taking advantage of basically just staying in the air, trying to stay clear of any explosive fire from Leviathan with his throwing discs there.
Yep.
And they're sitting around the back of the base. He's dropped the flag. I'm not sure what caused the drop there.
But Etherreal King picks it up. Meanwhile, HZ and Nave are holding the flag for Over9K back at their base, and we're effectively into the first standoff of the game, and we can already see the difference in strategy between these two teams and how they're going to manage this standoff. We have Unhandled Exception deciding that they're going to stay on top of their base, on top of the actual ship itself. They feel that that's going to be the safer place to hold that flag. It clearly gives them a much quicker opportunity to get the cap if their attackers can go and get the return. Meanwhile, we have Over9K deciding to the more, I would say, more traditional approach, but perhaps just more the old school approach of holding that flag up on the rear hill, and we see the return being made, and Etherreal King comes down off the top of his base and makes the cap 2-0 for Unhandled Exception.
Indeed, and we can see Diamond Sword there, Over9K crashing the stand, but a little bit too late to get the E-grab.
Yep, and these teams are going to reset. So at the moment we see Gene Stealer, AliW, and I believe Typhoid are basically running D. Actually, could be Walters instead of Typhoid, running D for Unhandled Exception, and they're throwing the other 4 players on their team up the midfield and into the offensive position. So Etherreal King, FX, and Typhoid all running offense for Unhandled Exception.
Absolutely, and I'm finding this really interesting, the lack of heavy play at the moment. No heavy on flag. I mean, this map isn't a particularly strong map for heavy on flag anyway, because it's so easy to be shelled by HO, but neither team's running HO, presumably because neither team's running a half. Oh, Leviathan running HO, but he's not really doing the long range. He's getting right in there, and Marcus has now managed to pick up the Blood Eagle flag, bringing it back at almost 200, gets sniped out, and Svenna is going in trying to pick it up. He's picked it out of midfield. He's being chased by Etherreal King.
Eunice grabs the flag and punts it through the midfield. Svenna's on very low health. He's going to get taken out by Etherreal King, but there's plenty of Over9K players there to pick up the flag. Meanwhile, Nave has picked up the flag for Unhandled Exception, and I'm just trying to find out where he went with it.
He picked it up. He tried to throw it back onto the top of the sand. I think he thought he didn't have energy. He did have energy. He threw it up. There was no one up there. And as a result of it bounced down, and Blood Eagle, FX there, able to come through as a raider and get the E-grab. And he's actually, yeah, going relatively fast considering.
Yeah, Fix there going down the left-hand side of the map. Sven hot on his trail. We'll see if he can get away from it. Raider, he's running the Raider class, so he's not going to have as much speed as he might want.
And he loses it to an Impact Nitron there, I believe.
Great shot by Sven
there. Nice play from Sven. And Sven gets the return. They're both of them running for it. Sven running reach. Fx is not. Actually, a lot of the Blood Eagle team, I've noticed, a lot of Unhandled exception are actually running reach, even the Raiders. And there we are, first cap for Diamond Sword.
Yeah, over 9,000, bringing the score 2-1. H said bring the flag down, getting taken out right at the last minute, but Leviathan was there to pick it up and make the cap. So over 9,000 not out of this game yet by a long shot.
No, absolutely not. And of course, this being such a such a small map, it's very easy for those caps to stack up very quickly. It's a little bit like Oxenvina that you can snowball pretty fast if things get a little bit out of control, because suddenly all your teams are in the wrong place.
Absolutely.
Both these teams have been managing to reset pretty well, though, and seem to be, yeah, we can see Diamond Sword now, I think, taking defense perhaps slightly more seriously than they were before. Both Nave and H said both staying very firmly on the flag stand.
Yeah, we have Marcus with the flag for over 9,000. He's very high, but he's got plenty of health as well, so this is allowing him to build up a lot of speed as he comes down, skis through the right-hand side of the midfield and coming back up to his base. He's getting chained down quite heavily, though, but there's enough momentum on the flag. Unfortunately, goes flying straight over 9,000's base. And it's
a race between a Shannon and FX now. Oh no, it looks like FX not even going for it. Diamond Sword going all the way for it. Bit of a grenade launcher spam there, but Shannon is able to pick it up no problem and punts it forward there to Shrek. I think they mucked up that pass a little bit. Either way, Shrek now has it running as the Pathfinder. He's taken down by an Impact Nitron and the flag is returned.
Yeah, Nave returning the flag for over 9,000 and both teams do reset. That was the first real route that I've seen being thrown in there by over 9,000. There's been a lot of sort of, you know, grabbing it off the stand and then trying to punt it through the midfield, and so far that hasn't been particularly effective for either team. I'd like to see them running a few more routes. There's some really good routes on this map, especially around the outside of the map, coming in with a rock grab. I was watching Shaz do this just last night and it was really fast.
Yeah, I was wondering, well, the thing is that on this map, I mean, really fast on this is rather less than really fast on other maps, at least as far as I know. From what I'm aware of, the fast routes on this map are kind of more 300 as a, you know, a very firm upper limit almost, rather than a minimum.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Shaz getting close to that, and you know, sometimes a little bit faster. Those rock grabs can be very effective, but they're also very difficult to execute. So I can understand that not all teams would want to go for what is effectively quite a risky strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. And Marcus coming in there as Pathfinder, also running a route for Diamond Sword, but unfortunately getting taken out by the LD on the stand there. The LD being very effective, actually.
Yep.
You need very good timing to do that well, but if you have it, then it works really, really well.
Absolutely. So we see the teams effectively resetting once again. It's a very clustery game at the moment. People are just sort of coming in, crashing the flag stand. Like I said, there's no real need to be clearing because everybody's just kind of clustering at the same time and nobody's really running those very fast cap routes. They're just trying to get the flag off the stand, punt it through the midfield and hope that their defense can come in and pick the flag up. But yeah, so far, I'd like to see some more routes being run.
Absolutely. I mean, I have to say, it doesn't feel, let's say, especially coordinated. It feels more like we just throw everything at the flags. I'm sure there is a lot of coordination going on which just isn't apparent, but it looks like they're just throwing everything at the flag stand and hoping.
Yeah.
You know, we're not seeing anyone taking out the sniper in coordination with the grab being made. I mean, we've seen so many flag caps being taken out by the snipers so far. Ali W just nursing the Blood Eagle flag in mid there. I think he's going to try and get the return to the Shannon can't pick it up. No, yes, there we are.
Yep.
He's done it now and it's now secure on the base.
Shannon forces the return. Gene Steel are doing a pretty good job on that flag stand, preventing the cappers. We see Marcus coming in, and he doesn't get body blocked this time by Gene Steel. Marcus comes away with it at 280 Sanix, full health as well, so I'm not sure where the sniper, looks like Walters is running sniper for...
He's taking him down
Unhandled.
a bit. He's got a couple of shots, but yeah, not much. And now Marcus is actually he's up in the air again. In the meantime, FX actually now running Pathfinder as opposed to Raider, has picked it up and has passed it to Ali W straight down the midfield. He's now carrying it back, escorted by Uniz, and Walters running still the defensive sniper there.
Absolutely. So we're going to set up for what is going to be the second major standoff of the game, and we see Unhandled Exception setting up on top of their base as they chose to do last map, and we'll see if Over9K, they are also setting up on top of their base.
They're setting up on top of their base on the front of their base, which I think they may regret because they are being sniped a fair amount. That seems to slow down a little bit now. Typhoid's coming in now. under the base, and Eunice as well. Looks like they're coordinating that along with Everwalking and FX. Really nice coordination on the attack. They're coming in from all angles at once. Managed to take out the flank carrier. It ended up getting blasted off the side of the ship actually, and another Nave manages to pick it up just in time.
Great work
field.
from Nave. Did not manage, managed to prevent Eunice from making the return, and very good clutch play coming here from Over9K. But eventually, Etherreal King manages to make the return, and it looks like both flags have been returned. In fact, I did not see Over9K return their flag.
No, I'm afraid I was too busy focusing on the 9000 base there. Quite a lot going on. It's interesting to note that Nave is actually running Reach. I mentioned this briefly earlier, but it's nice to see lots of the kind of the medium classes, the midfield brawling classes, running Reach, because they know that their strategies are revolving a lot about kind of scrums over flags rather than kind of big elegant caps.
Yeah, I mean, what we're seeing is soldiers with Reach basically trying to push the flag through the midfield. You see this sometimes when the teams are quite afraid of the enemy sniper, because clearly when you're a Pathfinder you can get sniped out very quickly. It takes a lot more effort to snipe someone out when they're running a soldier class. I'm not sure if that is the reason that Unhandled Exception are deciding to do it, but that is one of the reasons that you can see it happen in competitive play.
It's one of the reasons, definitely, and FX actually picking up the Diamond Sword flag there, managing to bring it back a little bit closer to space despite the sniper fire. I mean, it may be partly due to this map again, because the Pathfinders can't get up such great speeds. It's much easier for the Pathfinders to hit them out of the air very early on their routes, apart from anything else. Again, being such a small map. Looks like FX is actually going to make this 3-1, and he does. Nave comes in there a little too late for the E-grab, drops the flag in the base, and I assume they're actually just going to keep it there, keep it punted to the side, make it harder for the other team. It's not as though the other team, well, Marcus is running routes.
Yeah, but he's not going to get a route that's going to come through there. I mean, that's tucked away right in the corner, so that's going to give them...
No, but even without the route, I mean, it's going to be difficult, say, for someone to run in and pick it up and throw it out from there.
Absolutely.
Is the point. It's difficult no matter what approach you're using there, and they've got 13 seconds left of relative security, so I'm just going to have a little look at the Over9K base now and see what's going on. You can see FX trying to take out the base turret. Both generators were down earlier, but Diamond Sword, yes, O'Shannon's gone technician and has repaired their generator. I wonder if he's planning on getting a strikeout. Units now actually running a route at last. 290, almost 300 at times. Very low health there, 23 health. Bounces off the rock there, and is carrying that all the way back to his base, although it's a very long route around the outside.
Yeah, somebody from Unhandled Exception is going to want to get to him very soon, because basically we have O'Shannon has got that strikeout, as you were indicating earlier, and is hot on Yuna's tail. In fact, Eunice gets taken out by the sniper of Over9K. Svenna coming in for the return, HZ coming in for a return as well, and they do manage to get it.
They do get the return. O'Shannon breaking off the seat. They didn't want to lose the strike. Strikes are extremely expensive under this rule set, and that is 2-3 to Diamond Sword, to Over9K. Unhandled Exception still leading though by a single point, and O'Shannon actually playing that strike pretty offensively, trying to clear out a bit of the enemy defense.
Yeah, we'll see how Unhandled Exception choose to respond to this, whether they just try to chain him out of the air or whether they choose to counter-strike him. At the moment, it looks like they're just going to live with it.
Yeah, I think they feel maybe they can get away with it. I mean, Nunes there actually almost takes out the strike with a really nice spin fuser shot there. And there we are, he does, with the light assault rifle, able to remove the strike. As I was saying, strikes cost 60,000 in under these rules, although you do have pooled team credit, so that does make it a bit easier. Marcus coming out relatively slowly, but down the midfield, a nice short route. He is being sniped. I imagine, yes, there he is, taken out by the sniper, and the flag is now dropped in mid. Leviathan is coming in to pick it up, misses on the first route, has now got it, and is carrying it back to his base as a heavy. Of course, he's going to take a lot of effort to snipe down. FX doing a lot of work as a raider. Gene Sealer now coming in, and it's been passed to HZ.
Yeah, Gene Stealer, the last-ditch offense from Unhandled Exception, was not able to make it. He gets sniped right at the last minute, and that brings it to a tied game, 3-all.
Very nice, yeah, and we can see, I think, a rather delayed E-grab there, coming through the middle and being shut down very quickly by that double light defense. Really nice from Over9K, actually, to be equalizing so soon. 8 minutes left on the clock. Of course, we can go into overtime if it's still tied at the end of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth mentioning, we were talking about rules earlier. These games on the Gameshrine 7 vs 7 ladder are not first to 5, they are first to 7. So,
which basically means you're expecting to play out pretty much the full game each time, and Svenna has now got the Blood Eagle flag. Sorry, Marcus has got the Blood Eagle flag. I don't know what I was talking about there, and he's carrying it away pretty fast, bouncing off the rocks. He's going a little higher, might well get sniped.
We see pretty
No,
much this is a very common tactic by Unhandled Exception when they're in this sort of situation. Their entire team starts pushing towards the enemy flag stand, but none of them are going to get there in time. FX is the last ditch,
FX is
and
there.
he does it.
He actually gets got Ali W going in for the return. Typhoid now coming in for the return as well. The strike, O'Shannon actually punting it with the strike out of the reach, physically hitting it and moving it. Svenna has now managed to pick it up, and in fact there's no Blood Eagle there at all. Ethereal King comes in, but it's too late, and it's now 4-3 with over 9,000 leading.
Yeah, this is definitely not a result that we expected. Over 9,000 coming from a deficit and now in the lead. We'll see if they can hang on to this and actually take the game. There's 7.5 minutes left in this match, and Unhandled Exception need to make something happen.
Yeah, absolutely. O'Shannon there looked like he went to the vehicle pad, stood there for a bit, looked like he was trying to get a second strikeout and then just killed himself. I'm not quite sure what was happening there. Maybe he thought he had enough credits and he didn't. It looks like over 9,000. Their defense is just HZ and Knave, and it's doing incredibly well. They're very flexible. They also run Chaser. We've seen that happening a lot. It's a good build actually. I'm enjoying it. It's not perhaps as conventional. You know, it doesn't fit into like one of every role. You're just seeing lots of a very versatile role.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the problems that Unhandled Exception has this evening is they don't have their, who I believe is their primary capper, Shikali. He seems to be out of action this evening, so this could be putting their plans into disarray a little bit. They could have a high dependence on him, and that might be why they're running this kind of clustery, punty style instead of the more traditional cap route style.
Exactly, and Marcus there, having picked up the Blood Eagle flag, manages to get it most of the way back to his base before, again, the cluster catches up with him and guns him out of the air. I mean, it's worth noting that while Diamond Sword are still running a relatively cluster, over 9,000 that is, are still running a relatively clustery game, i.e. lots and lots of medium classes, only one heavy, getting all over the map as much as possible. They still have a capper in the form of Marcus, and they still do have a heavy in the form of Leviathan. It's a slightly more traditional loadout, and it does seem to be working more at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so far Unhandled Exception don't really have an answer for Marcus coming in on those relatively quick routes. McCavity trying to do the sniping to prevent him coming in and also obviously going out with that flag, but it hasn't been 100% effective for them so far.
No, especially as Blood Eagle are actually doing some really nice clearing around, especially as Diamond Sword, even over 9,000 are actually doing some really nice clearing base there. And Svenna, I thought they were running two cappers. They are. Svenna is running as a second capper, comes in just after Marcus has died, and carries it out not as fast as Marcus was going, I think, but he's still got about half his health left, and he's most of the way home, although his flag is not.
Yep, and FX and Typhoid are chasing him down. Svenna's got very little health. He does drop the flag, but O'Shannon is there to pick it up. What is happening with the Diamond Sword flag?
Not a huge amount. Ali W is going into the standoff situation again, going on the back of their base, so they can't be hit by sniper fire, and they can see people coming up to them. It seems to be a pretty good standoff position, favoured by both teams. Although over 9,000 were preferring the hills earlier, they've now seem to have transitioned back to their base. Yes, they have Shrek standing around the base. Shrek actually holding the flag as a sentinel, perhaps not the greatest of choices. A really nice Nitron there, takes it straight back to the Blood Eagle base.
Oh,
really good Nitron,
Ali
actually.
W gets sniped down just before he manages to make the cap for Unhandled Exception. McCavity goes, picks it up. He should have the energy to get it up, but he gets sniped out as well.
He uses it to thrust, and Leviathan gets a return there. Really nice. Marcus comes in on a route there. I don't know if it was meant to be an E-grab or not. It was a very odd route, and he went into the ceiling and got shut down very quickly.
I'm pretty sure that was definitely
an
E-grab. I mean, he was already halfway down the midfield before that flag got returned, so he probably thought, you know what, I'm doing a decent amount of speed, I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah, exactly, and it turned out it was unnecessary anyway, but still. And he's now running his rock route around the back there. That's the first bounce. I'm curious to see just how many bounces he's going to be using. It seems to be, on this map particularly, you have lots of excellent uses for rock routes. And in the meantime, over 9,000 actually using a bit of the Unhandled Exception tactics there, of just picking it up with the Raider and bodily running it home.
Yeah, we see FX picking up the flag for Unhandled Exception. He is running the Pathfinder with Reach and Egocentric. That is definitely a capper outfit, but he either wasn't on a route or didn't quite get it right, because he didn't come off that flag with flag stand with a lot of speed, but he's managed to pass it off to Eunice, who's going to make it back up. Hopefully, he gets
sniped,
taken out.
Sniped. And it's been thrown forward. Gene Sealer has picked it up. Medium got a little bit more protection against that sniping. The sniper misses him as he comes out. He's out of line of sight. He's now in line of sight, taking damage to the sniper again. O'Shannon coming up behind him, but O'Shannon's on really low health. Is he going to be able to take out Gene Sealer? No, he's not. He's taken out by McCavity.
Yeah, and the flag gets returned for Unhandled Exception. Can they make the cap? Gene Stealer comes in, does get it just before Disc follows him onto the flag stand.
Fantastic.
So brings it back
really nice.
4-all.
Leviathan not in time. Yeah, exactly. Leviathan not quite in time there to get the E-grab. I don't think he realised until about a second too late, and then, of course, heavy class low mobility, not able to get there in time. Makes it 4-all with only 3 minutes left on the clock. What a fantastic game.
Yeah, so just to update everyone on the rules, if it is a stalemate, it will go into a 10-minute overtime. So it obviously will not be a draw.
No, indeed.
I just want to chase up that setting. No, I've lost my notes, unfortunately. So, but yeah, it will definitely go into at least a 10-minute overtime if this scoreline ends up with
it's 10 minutes overtime. Leviathan and Sven are coming in. Oh, Sven clearing the stand there for Marcus, who came on a route. I didn't see him coming. Unfortunately, he loses almost all his health. There's some excellent sniping as he goes out there, only on 86 health and only going about 170. But his flag is currently secure. Ethereal King goes in for it, but gets taken out there. Marcus actually brings us back in. Yeah, it's now. No, yes, there we are.
He made
there
it.
We are.
So 5-4 for Over9K, again taking the lead, but it's a very close game. We see that Unhandled Exception is starting to put together a more coordinated offense and able to get that flag much closer to their flag stand than they were previously.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's actually I'm not quite sure how they managed to get that lead right at the beginning, because what we've basically seen is Over9K scoring several times in a row here.
Yeah, I think basically
I'm not quite sure what's happening.
I think what happened was that Over9K went into this game expecting a more traditional, capist, route capping style coming out from Unhandled Exception. What they've done is they've noticed that Unhandled Exception are running the more punty style and have basically changed their defense to accommodate that. I think they're running more lights than they were previously, and actually Unhandled Exception have lost a player.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, in the case of that, basically the rules say that we play on and they try and get someone else subbed in as quickly as possible. I'm trying to work out who it was who's just dropped out there.
Yeah, McCavity's still there, Gene's still... FX has dropped out.
That's it. That is it. Wow. Okay, well, they're running at a bit of a disadvantage until they can get someone else subbed in, or I think it's going to reconnect. Let's hope that happens soon. In the meantime, we can see Shannon has actually managed to get another strike out. He's trying to clear the flag stand. There's actually no one on it at the moment except for Gene Stealer, and Eunice has the dinosaur flag.
He punts it forward, and there's only a minute left in the game, so Unhandled Exception really need to make this one count, but Marcus takes the flag off for Over9K.
Oh,
he's going to make it back, and this is going to be a cap. Oh, come on.
Oh, it will be if he actually gets there.
There we go.
Yes, there we are. Now 6-4. It looks... Yeah, that was really, really nice of Marcus. A wonderful back to front. Basically a stand to stand there, I think. I didn't see quite at the start of his route, but it looked like it was almost that. If not, then very close to being that. Ethereal King has a dinosaur flag, drops it straight away. Of course, Over9K, they only have 38 seconds of basically they just need to get heavily defensive for a bit. It looks like FX has actually managed to pick it up again, though, and he's taken out by the strike.
So FX has rejoined the server, but unfortunately it's a bit late for his team. There's only 25 seconds left, and they need to make 2 caps in that time, and unless there's some kind of miracle, I don't think that's going to happen. I think this game is going to Over9K.
I think it almost certainly is. 18 seconds left. Blood Eagle not giving up the, Unhandled Exception, still pushing forward, everyone going in for the offense, but that strike is actually really good. Shannon doing a very good job, getting a wonderful mid-air there, and then, 2 mid-airs in a row, taking out FX as well. Really nicely piloted.
And that is the game. So the first game going to Over9K. Well done, guys.
Absolutely, well done. Well done. Slight advantage towards the end in terms of Unhandled Exception losing a player, but nevertheless a good game, I think.
Yeah.
It was nice to see actually Unhandled Exception towards the end of that starting to run more Pathfinders, kind of switching up their tactics as the game went on. I think to try and catch Over9K slightly off guard. I don't think it worked quite as well as I hoped it would have done.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. In terms of the player dropping, I think that was only for a minute or two, so I don't think they can really blame the loss on that. It was interesting to see the change in momentum through that game. Unhandled Exception came out, I think it was 2-0, it was certainly 3-1 at one stage. They were looking really solid, and then, like I said, I'm pretty sure that Over9K just kind of adapted to the loadout and the way that Unhandled Exception were playing, and basically were able to take it out.
Yeah, I'm impressed by that. It's always nice teams who are actually able to be flexible rather than just going in with a fixed plan, like, we are going to do this and that is our plan. Going in with a plan and going, this is our plan, this is what we're going to do. I'm just going to join a team very quickly, fire a shot again so I don't get kicked for idling, and then drop out. Okay, and go back to spectate. There we are. And the next game is Arx and Avena. I've currently got the scorecard up just while all the team get in. So that is now 1-0 to Over 9,000 in this best of 3. This map is now Arx and Avena. This one was actually chosen by Unhandled Exception, I believe.
Yeah, so you would expect them to be a bit stronger on this map. We'll see if they can turn this around and force it to the third map, which will be Rain Dance, I believe.
Yes, the tiebreaker randomly chosen map. Okay, I'm now going to switch back to the game. There we are. Now everyone should be able to see what is going on. 10 seconds left, and Blood Eagle's still down a player. Not Ephes this time. He's there. They're actually down 2 players.
Whoop,
wow, the entire team is disconnected.
They've lost the entire team. What is going on?
That's very peculiar.
We'll have to wait and see, but basically...
Oh, and they're all back. They're all back now.
I don't know if they were just trolling or what was going on there, but I think we're about to start the game.
I certainly hope so. I'm not quite sure, but they're all in now, and pretty much the same positions as before. I.e., no one running heavy, with the exception of Leviathan as a heavy offense. Actually, this is being an exceptional map for heavy offense, and he is actually going straight up to the villager. Always what I'd like to see from an HO. A Juggernaut on this map is such a beautiful place to shell from.
Yeah, we have a similar outfit from Unhandled Exception. We have Gene Stealer doing flag defense again, Ali W on defense as well, and I'm sure that we'll see McCavity. There he is, he's up on the back of the base on one of the buildings there. Gives him a good vantage point for people coming in from left to right routes, and also gives him a little bit more time from this vantage point to pick out the Kappas doing back to fronts as well.
Absolutely, and it's also slightly more secure, although Shannon does seem to be doing his best to distract McCavity as long as possible. He's a little bit late there. Marcus is actually taken out by, Shannon knows not just to try to go up and get him a lead, but the point being is to distract him for as long as possible, to duel for as much as possible. And in the meantime, FX has actually managed just to grab it as a raider and is carrying it down the midfield. Safety third and survivalist there. He's being sniped by a phase rifle, actually, which is a curious choice. And taken out by the impact nitron.
Yep, and Sven's going to make the return. Typhoid not able to turn around quick enough and pick it up. Typhoid and Nave going to have a little duel in the middle. The flags get reset, and we are still 0-0 on these 2 games. So again, Unhandled Exception running a very similar offense and defense. It's a what we call a 3-4 outfit. We have 3 people on defense and 4 people on offense. Now, it'll be interesting to see if they actually run any routes this game. Meanwhile, Marcus has picked up the flag for Over 9,000. He's going straight really down the middle.
200, these back to front routes are just incredible. There's no one around it. It's like this is going to be first cap to Over 9,000, and it is. Despite getting sniped at the last minute there, he captures it just before he Ks out to reset his route. Uniz is actually running a route, having just said, Unhandled Exception don't seem to be running routes. They do have one. Uniz running a route there. He does get sniped as he comes in. Gets taken out by a Claymore, which was put in exactly the right place. Wonderful play from the Sentinel there. I've never seen that done before.
Where was it placed?
The Claymore was just placed, it looked like a random placement out of the middle of the hill, but it's exactly where, the Sentinel obviously knows those routes incredibly well, exactly where Eunice touched down to just before he jumps up to do the back to front and just gets taken out straight away by the Claymore.
Well, it's very
wonderful.
Good. Great play by
really good.
Over
Anyway,
9,000.
in the meantime, O'Shannon has actually managed to bring it almost all the way back, pass it up to HZ, who then picks it up. Yeah, it's just curious to see Over 9,000 actually running a mixture of the kind of big, fast, elegant routes. Marcus now running the route there on very low health. I don't know quite how far he's going to get. I can't imagine he's going to get too far. No, he's sniped out there. But his team are now ready to pick it up. Leviathan's picked up heavy class, lots of durability. Juggernauts, of course, can disjump fairly well. If they need to. He doesn't at the moment. He's being escorted by most of his team. He passes it to Svenna. Marcus actually picks it up again.
That is not the player you want to be picking up when he only had about 10 health left, and McCavity comes in and makes the return. Wow.
Yeah, as a Sentinel, running straight in. Excellent presence from him there. In the meantime, Typhoid came in trying to pick up the Diamond Sword flag, got taken out very quickly and dropped it, and now they're now kind of trying to nurse it, trying to hit it into the wall. It's obviously actually surprisingly difficult, especially as I think both of these players are running Reach. Also, I'd like to point out that HZ is actually running Super Heavy Soldier, Reach and Super Heavy.
Well, it's sort of like an alternative to running a heavy on flag. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So you still get the benefits of body blocking, but you get slightly more mobility, and you're able to run away from shelling a bit more. They're throwing out a few proximity grenades there to try and defend the flag, but unfortunately, not quite enough. Typhoid actually guarding it rather than picking it up, and gets the return just just as the Diamond Sword flag is returned.
Yeah, so we saw some pretty good coordination there by Over9K. Leviathan coming through, mortaring that flag stand of Unhandled Exception, and Marcus coming through just as the mortar spam stops and picks up the flag, and he's going to be able to bring it back into the flag stand.
Lovely play from out there. Decides he's going to stay and try and get the return, which they do due to Ali staying and actually getting some good shots off there, and decides to throw it out into midfield. Yunus comes through trying to get a midfield pickup, but he drops it actually, and Svenna is able to come through and get the return just ahead of Ethereal King. They both overshot. Typhoid just then picks it up straight away again. The sniper, Shrek, as the sniper there, doing fantastic job for Diamond Sword.
Yeah, he's really dominating this map. He's really shutting down the ability of Unhandled Exception to move that flag forward.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, now they're through the aqueduct, they've got a little bit of cover from that. Ali Typhoid actually picking up, that's probably the smartest decision given that he has more health. Knave following him up there. Ali being taken out there. Leviathan, really
Great
nice.
shot.
Really nice there.
Yeah, Leviathan comes through and forces the drop, and he's going to make the return as well.
He has indeed got the return.
That's incredible. Like, I mean, he is running the Juggernaut outfit, and he's acting like a Pathfinder. It's really something special.
Yeah, he really is. It's interesting. I mean, he is doing a fantastic job, and he's running a Fusion Mortar, which I think on this map is actually probably a better option, and of course the LMG. I mean, it's a fantastic dueling class. I mean, really, really strong.
Yeah.
And he is obviously very good at it. I mean, he's taking down the Raider in midfield there.
So we also see, it's interesting you pointed out, I believe it was HZ running the Soldier with Super Heavy. Genestealer is doing exactly the same thing. So it looks like both of these teams declining the Heavy on flag and going for the more mobile Soldier with Super Heavy on flag.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I guess they're counting on the generator being down and not bothering to repair it too much. Maybe saving their credits for shrines. I'm trying to get a handle on the strategy here. Basically, like, why do you not run Doombringer when the mines and the force fields are so very good?
Well, clearly with the force fields and and keeping the generator up on this map is particularly hard.
Yeah, it really is. And I assume, soldier proximity grenades, of course, just got buffed now, do 600 damage. I mean, it's a very minor, it's like 15 extra damage they deal, but it's still a buff, and with 2 of them, that's enough to take out Kappa.
Yep. So
especially if they get hit with the super heavy.
Waiting for these teams to set up. Marcus is setting up his route. This could be a side-to-side, or it could be just a fairly long back route. We'll see where he ends up deciding to enter from. Let's see if Leviathan, O'Shannon, and Sven can clear that flag in the right timing so that he can come through and pick that straight up off the flag.
Well, he certainly managed to clear it once, whether I think... Oh, nope, they've... Really nice. They managed to get Genestealer. I mean, the flag was clear anyway, but they managed to clear it, so Genestealer was miles away. However, the Diamond Sword flag isn't actually at the base. It's been picked up, punted into midfield. Ethereal King trying to hold off HZ and Knave, the chasing light defense there. Slightly hard to chase the super heavy, but HZ doing a pretty good job. The flag dropped again. O'Shannon going in, and O'Shannon
didn't quite make it.
Misses the return. Really nice play from Blood Eagle there, shooting the flag to throw it out of HZ's arms. Gosh, a lot of passes on this.
Yeah, that was quite...
Ethereal King picking it up again.
Quite impressive by Unhandled Exception actually managing to hold onto that flag. The flag basically came into their half of the map, and there were about 4 or 5 Over9K players there ready to do the interception, and the team of Unhandled Exception were able to basically hold off those attackers and hold on to the flag.
Indeed, and now we're into what is really the first standoff of this game. Genestealer and Ali W holding the Diamond Sword flag up by the vehicle pad. It looks like they're being sniped from mid. And meantime, HZ actually holding it a little bit further back up behind the vehicle pad. He's being supported by Shrek and Knave and O'Shannon trying to take out Ethereal King, succeeding in taking out Ethereal King. Ali coming in here trying to get the impact knife, and he crashes into a wall, unfortunately, and Mrs. Typhoid coming in there. I think that attack might have... Oh, lovely play from Eunice there. Wonderful impact knife, and unfortunately Shrek is able to pick it up again. Ali gets taken out before he's able to bring him down. Shrek throws it away, knows he's about to die, wants it to go in a direction he can actually control, picks it up again. And there we are, passes it to O'Shannon.
McCavity, the sniper, well, I assume he's the sniper. Let me check. No, he's running soldier.
He's now a soldier. He's switched back to soldier. I think they feel that sniper is perhaps a slightly limited use in this because it's so easy for the other team just to stay out of line of sight. Although, having just said that, sniper shot coming in there. I think that must be from midfield, although I cannot actually see where the sniper is.
Yeah, I imagine it's Shrek. I mean, he's a great shot, particularly on this map.
It really is. He's getting it from right across the map then. I mean, he's shooting from his own base. Ah, there we are. I can see him now. He's now actually switched to a medium class. And the flag being passed around a lot between these two teams, making sure it's always with somebody who's on full health and energy.
Yeah, I mean, Leviathan has chosen to maintain his heavy outfit. here. It's an interesting decision. I mean, he's got the support by Svenna that we can see them coming in now, trying to break up this flag stand off by Unhandled Exception. And I mean, the Mortars are going to do a great job at clearing away the flag stand defenders. But unfortunately, the limited mobility of that prevents him. Oh, they got the return.
Manages to snatch a flag out of the air there, guns down the carrier with SMG fire, and takes it straight out of the air. Ethereal King actually already at the base, ready to get the E-grab, and is bringing it out through the midfield. It's being pursued by Marcus, but he's on full health, and Marcus is dead.
It is indeed. I'm just trying to catch up to where everyone is. So Ethereal King bringing the flag back to the Unhandled Exception base, and it looks like we're going to reset this flag standoff.
Yeah, both flags being returned, both flags being picked up, and then, well, not both flags being returned, one flag being returned, being carried away. Gene Stealer just kind of perching on top of the tower there, just, you know, dancing a little bit. Marcus coming in, throwing an impact nitron and missing there. Shooting with the spin fuse. Leviathan now coming in with the LMG. It looks like he might actually be able to get the kill on. No, he's taken out by McCavity. Too many against him there. McCavity running as Sentinel again. And Ali W now picks it up as a soldier.
Meanwhile,
I mean, we were talking about Leviathan coming in shelling.
Yep.
Sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was just saying, meanwhile, at the Over9K base, there's really no one coming in yet, so they're just resetting. I see Ethereal King coming up through the midfield and Typhoid in the side, but yeah, they need to basically get a few more people in here before... Oh, Ailey's jumped in. That's interesting. Who's he switched out for? So Ailey's actually joined in... I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly, for FX. FX has dropped out, and Aile is joined in for Unhandled Exception.
Possibly, oh wow, and a real scrum going over the Blood Eagle flag at the moment, and the return is got.
Yeah, so Ailey really making his presence known. Yeah. He comes straight in and makes the return, and that's going to be... Ooh, it's not going to be... Gene Stealer drops the flag, meanwhile, as Savannah comes through with a clutch E-grab. Let's see if he can make it through down the midfield.
Really nice play there, very low health, and oh, he was looking backwards, he didn't notice he was running straight into the pillar. Blood Eagle decided to get the return, Ailey gets the return, and then kills himself. The flags have now been reset. And Leviathan trying to do a bit of clearing around the back of the base. He's being shut down by Ali-W and McCavity there.
Yeah. So we'll see.
No one like McCavity.
I'm pretty sure that Ailey's basically either the captain or one of the main founders of Team Unhandled Exception. So we'll see if he comes in here and basically changes the way these guys are trying to play the game.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see it. It's nice to see. I mean, obviously it's a shame for FX. I assume it's connection problems or something similar being swapped out.
He's dropped out a couple times already, so it could be that just look, mate, I'm having trouble here. You need to come in and give us a more reliable connection.
Well, exactly, and I believe Eli is actually the captain of Unhandled Exception anyway. And he's actually running routes, which is nice to see. Marcus running route there, I think mucks it up a little bit and decides to drop out and duel the Sentinel just because he can.
Oh, Eunice gets taken out by across the map from Shrek. Great shot there by him. We'll see if Gene Stealer can come and pick it up.
Leviathan going for the return. And, he doesn't get it. Eunice, really nice play from Eunice there. Throws it up to McCavity, and he's actually overshot. What a shame. McCavity now has to run back, pick it up under spin user fire from Svenna. Dies to that. Really nice shots from Diamond Sword there. Oh, and taken out again by, I think that was a mortar from Leviathan. Ali W, however, managed to pick it up and finally get the cap.
Yeah.
O'Shannon has picked it up at an E-grab that was a little bit too late, carrying it out into midfield just to see if he'll be able to get it back. Leviathan wreaking havoc left, right and centre, but is taken out. All Blood Eagle have returned to their base at the moment.
That's right. Eunice gets taken out by a snipe right in the middle of the field. Manages to pick up his own drop, passes it off to McCavity. A bit too much pepper on the throw, and that's what we saw. Leviathan doing a really good job shelling, basically disrupting the Unhandled Exception defense, trying to return that flag. We saw Ali W then do a bit of a Michael Jordan sidestep and manages to make the cap.
Indeed, and Yuna is now coming in for a back to front for Unhandled Exception. Shrek, I think, has seen him, has only got a couple of strikes, misses that strike. Ethereal trying to get the clear, but he's taken out by, I think that was a proximity grenade there by H said.
Could have been.
Or certainly some kind of explosive. Really nice, again, really nice light defense.
Yeah, potentially even in mid-air, I'm not sure. It looked like he was.
Yeah, either way, it was very, very nicely done. And Ali now coming in for the second pathfinder. They're running double pathfinders, they're running interference. It works really well. They think the danger's past, and Ali has now come in. He throws it forward, expecting, I think, to die to the sniping, but the sniper misses, and Ethereal King picks it up. Unfortunately, Ali, I think, threw it forward, intending to run into it and pick it up again himself, but he missed the kind of the re-pick up, as it were. Yep. And so they lost quite a lot of speed there, giving Nave a chance to catch up. However, Ethereal King is actually doing a lot of escorting work. Leviathan goes in for the E-grab and gets it, going out very slowly as only a heavy can, being chased by Gene Stealer, Typhoid, and users coming over the top there.
Yeah, so we see him running through the side back of the map, and the flag has been picked up by Genestealer for Unhandled Exception. Leviathan drops the flag as Ailey and Eunice make the return, and I expect that Genestealer should be able to make the cap here.
Well, you think that, but the Blood Eagle flag was actually then picked up and punted straight out of the mid there. Typhoid going for return. Diamond Sword aren't actually near close enough. Genestealer dancing around the flag, finally gets it to trigger and gets the cap.
So that's
and that makes it
2-all.
2-all.
So Ailey
Again,
joining the team and
really
really turning this around.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by this. I'd also like to point out how flexible Blood Eagle have been. They switched up their strategy now depending on the double Pathfinder, which is actually working really well, because with one Pathfinder on this map, you're so vulnerable to Sentinels, and especially a Sentinel who is as good as Shrek. I'm still amazed at that Claymore placement from we saw earlier in the game. I mean, just so clever. It's a trick that only is really going to work once when no one's expecting it, but still a fantastic trick.
And what do you think about Shrek's choice of using the phase rifle instead of the bolt?
It's the kind of thing which I think most... Wow, and Ali bringing it almost all the way home there. Ali W manages to bring it in and gets the cap. That's 3-2, double Pathfinder working really well here. Marcus comes in, not an E-grab, that was an actual route. Unfortunately, if it had been a couple of seconds earlier, it would have been a wonderful E-grab, and is now bringing it back almost all the way back to space, taken out by the snipe there. And Savannah going in, picks it up, he's being chased by Typhoid and Etherall King.
Yeah, Typhoid is doing a diligent job trying to bring that flag home, but 3 of the Over9K players are able to take out 1, and they're going to hang on to this flag and potentially make the cap. I do not see any of the Unhandled Exception players coming in for the E-grab. Eunice is off in the distance, gets taken out, as was... no, I missed that one. But anyway, so Over9K make the cap, and that is 3-all.
That's 3-all. Eunice and Ali both running routes here. Shrek is actually on the sand, a little bit out of position, but I think as running the phase with the phase rifle... Oh, he's dead now. I really want to see what perks he was running. I was really curious to see if he was going to try and get some use out of Rage. I don't think that would be really worth it in this case, but I would have been very interested to see if he was. Where is he? He is running. No, he's running both ultra capacitors.
Ailey coming in with a back to front. He's going not particularly quick. He must have not quite got that right.
He missed it. Yep. He missed it there.
He maybe hit one of the archers on the way through, so he's going to have to reset. Meanwhile, Marcus is setting up his own route. And he's coming in pretty quick, but the angle's not quite right, and the flag gets taken off the stand, so that's going to ruin Marcus's day.
He's actually managed to pick it up, though. I mean, unfortunately, he did lose quite a bit of speed as a result of that. He's being chased by Ali. I can't imagine he's going to get very far, especially with all the automatic fire flying through the air there. Blood Eagle now, I think they're just going to nurse it in midfield a little bit, make sure it stays out of any potential routes. Although I have to say there's not too much point to doing that, and yeah, they've now returned it for Savannah to pick it up straight away again, but they don't need to worry too much about routes coming in because they know the only Pathfinder is Marcus, and he's just died, so they've got a bit of time.
Exactly. So we'll see Savannah's not making much distance going down the midfield.
No, he's really not. Punts it there. Yeah, O'Shannon goes to the pickup. Is he going to get it? He has got it. Gets it out of the air. Really nice from O'Shannon there, especially as he's not even running reach. It's really impressive.
Yeah, he's running Ultra Capacitor and Survivalist in the Raider, so he's going to slowly limp his way up through the front midfield for the Over9K team. Ali W making the Nitron, dropping it out of...
and Nave, again, just plucking it straight up. I mean, he is running reach, which is, of course, exactly what you want in this kind of situation. Really nicely done from him. Typhoid gets the E-grab. However, he's taking out really fast. Some fantastic aim there. I mean, just... perfect aim, really, from these guys. And McCavity coming in for the E-grab there, crashes into the wall and dies. He was slightly off anyway. Etherall King now trying to come and clear the stand.
That was perfect timing by Over9,000. They got the cap and Marcus was there instantly for the chain grab. And that's, wow. Two caps in the space of about
really
10
nice.
seconds.
I mean, this map is incredible for chain capping, simply because of the stupidly fast back to front. So it's not a balance comment, that's just they are incredibly fast.
But it's important to note really how hard that would have been to do, because basically, I can't remember who made the first cap. It might have been O'Shannon, but he got that, but he was limping up the midfield. So
oh yeah, there's no way they could have known how long it would have taken to get back. I mean, exactly. I think there's a fair amount of luck involved there as well, but it still doesn't denigrate what they did there. Excellent communication, excellent coordination. It paid off with a double cap, which I don't think anyone's going to complain about. We can now see wow, there, Annie coming in, sorry, getting distracted by his rather nice route. 315 back to front, they get taken out by Sniper, and it's now dropped actually in the arch, which is going to be really hard to pick up for Eunice. We'll see if he actually manages it.
He does
do it, unfortunately. He bounces and loses all his speed there. Dies, punts it forward. Marcus has got the grab there. Again, another back to front. Etherall King and Typhoid going to pick up the Diamond Sword flag. It looks like Nave's actually going to get the return. Yes, he does. And Marcus now looks like he's going to make it 6-3. And he has. Wow, really good play from Marcus.
Well, 6-3 with 6.5 minutes left in the map. Unhandled Exception really need to make something happen here if they're going to stay in this match.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, they were doing really well. And then that chain cap, I think, kind of shook them a little, and they lost another cap to exactly the same route again.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, they're not completely out of it yet. If they can essentially pull off the same
no,
thing.
absolutely not. Yeah, absolutely. And they are running double Pathfinder, which does increase their chance of doing that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm trying to find where they are now. Yuni's setting up his route there on the left. I can't actually see where Ali is.
Ali was coming in. Basically, he got sniped twice by Shrek. Once just after the regen, and then once again just as he was coming in for the flag, and got basically taken out completely. So Shrek really making his presence feel in this match. I'm just going to have a quick look. He has 20 kills. 20 kills as a sniper in this match. That's impressive.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well. He's doing pretty well.
Yeah.
And HA comes in for a return there. Savannah, both of them come in for a return. Shannon, in the meantime, has got the E-grab. Actually doing surprisingly well, although I think he's going to die to the automatic weapons fire there. Yeah, he actually dies to the bolt launcher. AW comes in for a return, gets the return. Eunice manages to bring it back, stops on the ceiling there, but does manage to get the return just before Marcus comes in for the E-grab. He's going very slowly, thrusts out of the back there. Still less than 100. Mind you, he is being escorted by quite a few. He's taken out there. Savannah goes in to pick it up. It's taken out. Ali gets the return.
Yeah, so good play there by Unhandled Exception. Managed Eunice, I don't know where he came from, but he had that cap from within about 10 seconds of grabbing. A very fast route for him there. Unfortunately, Marcus was able to take that flag off the stand, bring it through the midfield. Got taken out by Gene Stealer, and now we've got both flags reset on their stand. 6-4 for Over9K, and they're looking in control of this match at the moment.
Indeed, Shrek actually reaching a sniping spree there, Leviathan getting the spree. Marcus now running his route, Ali and Eunice running the same route a few seconds apart. Looked like Ali actually got taken out by the sniper there. Eunice, we'll have to see if Shrek gets him out. No, Shrek misses by quite a distance there. Eunice going really fast. Just over 300 there. Nave coming in fully and just gets a mid-air.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Great shot
by
what
H defense.
Yeah, I mean, Over9K.
Great defense from
really
Over9K there. Double light defense there. One with the heavy. And now they've got a strikeout. They know they can basically just play really defensively for 4 minutes, and that increases their chances quite significantly. Although having said that, Shannon does seem to be going offensively there, going to clear the stand from a distance on a small amount like this. Strikes are really good at that.
Yeah, and he's the only player for their team at the moment doing any clearing. We see Leviathan coming through now to do some heavy clearing, and Marcus is on his route at the moment. He's going to come through onto the flag at about 250, and he does. He gets away with it.
He does. That was a really nice mortar from Leviathan. It didn't actually kill anyone, but it took both the defenders down to like 10 health each, and they got very paranoid and jumpy and moved out of the way. Just let Marcus through.
Ethereal with the E-grab, throws it into the midfield. Ailey hot on Marcus' trail. Let's see if he can actually... Marcus goes for the throw. Throws it up
Shannon ejects from his shrine to get the return for Diamond Sword. He does get it. However, H has managed to pick up the flag and actually takes it back, and that's actually 7-4.
Which
the
makes
first
it
game we've seen in this series. Diamond Sword, that's actually matched.
That is.
Wow.
That's both maps going to Over9K there. They did a great job, and it's quite a turnaround. I mean, we saw for the first half of Crossfire, they looked a bit outclassed, and then they were just able to pull everything together. As I get kicked off from the server almost immediately.
Yeah, I just got kicked off straight away, ending the game very quickly there. Shame I can't actually see the scoreboard. I would have been interesting to see what was going on there. I mean, Shrek actually doing pretty well, I think. There. I mean, you say he had the 20 kills, he's got more of them up. We saw him getting a sniping spree at the end there. No one was really hassling him throughout that. He was mostly uncontested. He was able to snipe pretty much freely. Of course, from that map, you can more or less snipe from spawn. So
yeah. I mean, the telling thing to me, particularly in that last game, was the difference in play from Unhandled Exception as soon as Ailey joined the game. He basically immediately started running routes, and immediately they were back in the match, bringing it, I believe, level at one point.
Yeah, they were. No, they were level. They were level certainly at the front at the beginning of the game, and then they caught up again a bit later. It was. Yeah, I was very impressed actually by Unhandled Exception's ability to change their tactics as the matches went on. I mean, this was something in the Crossfire match, the first match there, we saw that primarily from Over9K. They see they're running really heavy punting, we're going to switch up our defense to counter this, and it worked really well for them. But we also saw Unhandled Exception actually then switching, once that had happened, switching back to a more traditional route running setup. As the game went on, unfortunately, I don't think they switched early enough, and it wasn't quite working as well as they would have liked it to. But both teams are showing really good flexibility in their play, both being willing to adapt their strategies to see what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, all I can suggest to try and explain what happened to Unhandled Exception was they didn't have the players on their roster. I mean, I was talking to FX before the game, and he said that they were struggling a little bit to put their team together tonight, and they didn't have Shakali, their primary capper, and clearly it looks like Ailey is one of their cappers as well, and you know, they basically just had to adapt to that. And when you're playing, I assume over 9,000 were at full strength for their roster, and when you've got...
I believe they were, yes.
Yeah, so when you've got a team that has everybody doing exactly the role they want, you've got your practice plays against a team which is, you know, maybe a little bit flustered because they don't have everyone they need, and they're trying to sort of make things up as they go along. That's not the position you want to be in a competitive game.
No, it's really not. I mean, having said that, I think, you know, it's not just that Unhandled Exception were put off by their play. I mean, Over 9,000 did do some really stellar plays there. I mean, in particular, I'd really like to just kind of compliment Leviathan. I thought he did some really nice work as a jug there. I mean, I play primarily jug, so it's obviously the kind of thing I look at the most.
Slightly biased, I believe.
Oh yeah, absolutely biased towards the Juggernaut. I love the Juggernaut, but I was just admiring Juggernaut, and I just find it interesting that neither team were really going heavy at all. I mean, no brutes, that's expected. You're not expecting anyone to see running. No heavy on flag, and only one Juggernaut in two maps which are both really, really good for heavy offense.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the Merv spam that you can see coming from a heavy to clear that flag stand is, you know, it's amazing, but we didn't see that. I'm not as bothered about the absence of heavy on flag. I think both teams are doing exceptionally well.
Yeah, they were. Their light defense was just incredible.
Yeah, the soldiers
really,
running
really
that
well.
heavy, super
really
heavy
highly
perk
skilled.
was very, very effective. And if you want to shout out anyone else from the game, I think it's got to be Shrek. His sniping on that
Shrek's
map
sniping
was
was
amazing.
absolutely brilliant. I mean, going back to what we kind of mentioned very briefly in the game, that the choice of phase rifle as a primary weapon. I mean, it's not something which I see many competitive snipers using. And I've actually, you know, kind of gone into streams where people have been sniping, going, "What is your view on the phase rifle?" and trying to garnish opinion. And the view has almost universally been negative, basically going, "It's not a bad weapon. It's just the BXT one is better."
Yeah, but I mean,
I mean, who am I to argue with Shrek? I mean, look at him; he was using it so well there.
Yeah, the benefit that the phase
really
rifle gives you is you can switch weapons, right? So you're shooting with the phase rifle, you switch weapons if you need to duel or whatever, and then when you switch back, you can shoot a full power shot immediately. Whereas with the bolt, the BXT, you have to charge up every shot. So it gives you that ability to switch around.
So you're slightly more flexible coming out of duels. Although I'd like to point out that in that Arx Navina game, Shrek was really not being hassled much towards the end there. I mean, he was a little bit at the beginning. We saw a Shannon going in right at the beginning of the game there, trying to harass the sniper to let the Pathfinders through. But towards the end of the game, they kind of seemed to rely more on the fact they were running double Pathfinder, and one of them is going to get through. He can't snipe them both down in time, and most of the time he couldn't. That was their way of dealing with the sniper rather than actually harassing him. So that advantage basically disappeared towards the end there.
That's true. I mean, I think they needed to react to that strike play. Sorry, not the strike play, the sniping play a little bit earlier than they did. But well, we'll never know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
no, exactly. It's hard to tell.
That is the game. The game goes to Over 9,000, 2-0. They won both maps, so we won't be playing Rain Dance. Considering that they shut the server down almost immediately, that was quite clear.
Yeah, absolutely. And that means that Over 9,000 retain their place at the top of the EU Gameshrine ladder. I believe that means that Unhandled Exception will be staying in number 2, is that correct?
That is... I'm not sure. It depends a little bit on how the Gameshrine ladder works in terms of points, because I know that if I just jump onto Gameshrine at the moment and have a quick look at the scoreboard, I don't expect the actual game to have been reported yet, but if I look at what's going on, points, wins, draw, losses. Okay, so it is a points-based system, but considering Heartbreakers do have 1 point and they're still at number 3, I would imagine that Unhandled Exception will retain their spot at number 2. The difference is, though, that Over 9,000 are now immune from challenges for, I believe, 24 hours.
Okay.
Unhandled Exception are not immune from challenges. Depending on if they challenge number 1, it will depend on whether they are allowed to challenge. If Unhandled Exception were the team that did that challenge for that match, they will not be allowed to challenge for, I believe, 24 hours.
Okay, I was going to say it'd be interesting to see a rematch perhaps with Unhandled Exception with their roster on full strength from the get-go, and perhaps Ali, they're running as a kappa from the beginning. It would have been, I think they would have really benefited on Crossfire from another kappa running routes, kind of more steadily units running routes occasionally there.
Yeah, I would expect to see a challenge from Heartbreakers or perhaps Nimble Minds to Unhandled Exception very soon to try and knock them off that second round spot.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. It's great to see the ladder actually kicking off and seeing some really good games there. I mean, perhaps the grabbing, punting down the middle isn't perhaps as exciting to watch as some of the really nice caps, the really nice routes being run. But nevertheless, I mean, it's a perfectly valid tactic, and you do get some extremely good play coming out of it.
Yeah, we've actually got Winters in the chat from Tribescast, so I'll just give a little shout out to him. Thanks for joining us, Winters. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for all of our viewers for coming out. This is actually the first cast of Roxton and I outside of the Reddit pug scene, so we've had a blast.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Is it worth hinting at what we're doing next week, Roxton?
I'm happy to if you are.
Yeah, so we're hoping that next week we will start the first episode of basically a Tribes talk show, a yet unnamed Tribes talk show. So we'll try to come up with something between now and Wednesday in terms of what to call it. But we'll be having a bunch of players both from America and from the European scene. We're hoping to have a panel of about 5 people, including Roxton and myself. And we'll be talking about general Tribes issues, competitive issues, esports issues, just a general talk show, the state of the game as it is in Tribes this week, and we'll be hoping to make it a fairly regular thing, so please look out for that sometime, hopefully Wednesday next week, but there will be more details coming very shortly.
Absolutely. And in the meantime, if you want to get hold of either of us, you can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/cogsandink. And Doc, do you want to tell people where you'll be?
Yeah, at the moment, the only real way to contact me is at DocMatrix. I also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/DocMatrix31, DocMatrix31 being my in-game handle. So if you're ever pubbing around on the London servers, that's where you'll find me. Where will you stream it? We will probably form a Twitch TV channel for this particular event or this particular show. I don't think we'll be putting that on either of our personal channels, just so that we can keep it sort of as its own entity, to answer you, Natcool. So yeah, so if you want to get in touch with me, grab me on Twitter, and yeah, you can catch me in the game. You can also generally catch Roxton and I on the Reddit pugs, so if you're not familiar with that and you want to get involved with a not necessarily competitive game, but a more serious game than a public one, you should go to reddit.com/r/tribes and check out all the stuff on the right-hand side panel. It doesn't matter if you're American or if you're European, we have pugs for either region, and yeah, you should definitely check that out if you want to get into some more organized matches. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, a huge amount of fun, and I will be casting as many of those as possible. Anyway, I think that's probably about it from us this evening.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've
so
already said where we're going to be.
Exactly. So thank you very much for joining me, Roxton, tonight. It's been really good stuff.
Thank you very much indeed. It's been great to cast and see some really good matches there. Thank you very much.
So we'll be trying to bring you more of these Gameshrine games when we can. Just again, check out Reddit for that. Check out our Twitters and our channels to find out when those things are likely to be happening. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks very much to Over9,000 Unhandled Exception for inviting us into their game to show it to you guys. And we will catch you next time.
Thank you very much. Good night, chaps.
See you guys.